welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my recent reads. So I have 6 books here that I have read from January to March. So I just wanted to let you guys know what I have read during those 3 months, which isn't a lot. I have 6 books here, so if you want to do the math, that's about 2 books in each month, and that's not normal for me, but I have been in school and it's been really busy. I'm finishing up my sophomore year. So I have a lot of work to do and a lot of projects to get done, so I haven't had the time to read for leisure, but I am hopefully going on break soon for the summer, so I'll be able to get so much more reading done. I don't want to make this intro too long. I kind of just want to jump right into it. The first book I read this year was Swamp Thing Twin Branches by Maggie Stiefvater. This is a graphic novel, a newly released graphic novel. I picked it up on a whim because I was really interested in reading some of her work, but I was kind of scared to read The Raven Boys, so I thought I'd start with the graphic novel to see how I like it, and I thought this was really interesting. I think the art style is like absolutely beautiful. I love that it focuses on plants and botany and nature. That's a really big theme, and I really enjoyed the storytelling. If you do not know, this story basically is about 2 twin brothers that are completely different from each other. One is kind of a social outcast and one is kind of like a social alpha dog, and they go and spend some time with their cousins, and one of the brothers takes their science experiment with them and stuff kind of goes down from there. I don't want to give too much away, but this was really good. I will say I was kind of left a little incomplete with the ending. I thought it could have been wrapped up a little bit better. I'm not sure if this is going to be a series, but if it is, I'm really not sure where they'll take off with the rest of the story. So hopefully this will give me the motivation to pick up The Raven Boys. The second book I read this year was Teen Titans Raven by Cami Garcia, and I really liked this. I love this so much. If you did not know, I'm a huge like superhero fan. I love Marvel and I love their movies, and I really do enjoy DC. I love Raven so much as a character, and this kind of tells her origin story, a fictional origin story about how she got her powers and how she ended up being, you know, half human, half demon. So it was really good. I really enjoyed it. The art style was beautiful. It kind of has like this purple, white, and gray color scheme to it. It kind of fits with Raven's aesthetic, which is wonderful. And I thought this was really good. This is the first book in a series. I think it left the ending really open for more possibilities for her character and future characters to come. I don't rate books anymore, so this book and Swamp Thing I didn't leave a rating for. I'm kind of trying to not rate books and just enjoy them and see what I think about them. My feelings on books fluctuate all the time, so what I may feel is a 4-star book one year, and the next time I read it, it may not be a 4-star book, and I don't want to like just label a book as a specific rating, because then people might not read it, when in reality it could be a really good book. Just my personal preference. I've seen other people do it and it works well for them, and it's working well for me so far. But no, you should really pick this up. Speaking of Raven, the next book I picked up after that was the sequel, Teen Titans Beast Boy. This one I did not like as much, just because I felt like our main character Garfield is very driven on being popular and he is very cocky. I don't think that it worked well in his favor, and I really feel like his character was really unlikable and really annoying. And although he did change like towards the end of the book, it took a really long time to get there. I just wasn't with it. I wanted to see more growth at a better pace, but overall I thought the story was great. I really liked the story of how he got his powers and how he got to be Beast Boy. I think the relationships around him were really great, and again, this story has an open ending. So you can definitely see where, you know, Raven's story and his story kind of diverge, and it's really good. There's a sequel to this book out, or the 3rd book in a series that came out in February, that I really want to get my hands on, so I'm super duper excited to read it. And this one, like I said, I'm not rating books, so I didn't give it a rating, but if I were, this would probably be like a 3.5 stars for me. The 4th book I read this year was actually a reread. I read this book back in 2018, I believe, when I was going through a difficult time, and it was so beautiful and so amazing that I just had to pick it up again 2 years later, and I was not disappointed, and that is The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender by Leslie Bolton. This is probably one of my favorite books of all time. It is absolutely magical and lyrical and amazing. I really don't want to say too much about this book because I really feel like it gives a lot of way, but all you really need to know is it is about a girl named Ava Lavender who was born with wings, and she's a medical anomaly. Nobody really knows why she was born with wings, but she takes some time to recount her family history. So this is a generational story of love and family and trauma and heartbreak, and it is so beautiful. I will put a trigger warning on here for rape though. That was something I was not expecting when I went into this book, but you should definitely be warned of that in case you may be turned off by it. The writing is so beautiful. I don't think I could say enough good things about it. It is absolutely wonderful and gorgeous and so lyrical. I included this book on my all-time favorite books video, which was my very first video, that I might redo in the future because there are other books that I didn't mention on there that I want to put on there. This was just fantastic. It was amazing, and reading it the second time around, it really reminded me of all the beautiful things about this book with Ava's family and everything that they had gone through, the fictional little Seattle town that they live in. It's absolutely gorgeous. If you have not picked this up, please do so. You will not regret it. One of my favorite books of all time. And I actually first heard about this book from Hannah over at A Clockwork Reader. This was one of the first book reviews I think she did on her channel was for this book, and she loved it and she still loves it. And if Hannah is still reading this book like 5-6 years later or so, then you know it's good. This is phenomenal. You need to pick this up. I highly recommend it. The second to last book that I read so far this year is one that I actually already did a review for, and it's up on my channel now. If you want to watch it, I will link it somewhere up there. And that is The Ravens by Cass Morgan and Danielle Page. I really love this book. I already have a review up, so I'm not going to go into like too much detail about it because you could watch that video if you're interested. But this book was really good. I loved it. Character development was chef's kiss. The setting was beautiful. I really enjoyed the magic system. That was the one thing I wish could have been different in this book. I think it could have been better explained because of how their magic is rooted. I think it could have been kind of described a little bit more so that way we can get a better idea of how they're able to use it and how they're able to take it away from other people. But this book, if you do not know, follows two characters, Vivian and Scarlet. Scarlet is a member of the Ravens, which is a secret coven of witches that is disguised as a sorority, and Vivi is a freshman on Westerly's campus and is looking to make new friends and kind of joins the sorority and finds out that she is a witch and she has magic. So it's really good. It's really fascinating and fast-paced and thrilling. If you read this book and you really enjoyed it, luckily there's a sequel coming out in January of 2022 called The Monarchs, and I'm so excited for it. It sounds phenomenal, and it kind of picks up where this story left off, and it's not a companion book. You should read this one first. I will stress that you need to read The Ravens first before you pick up The Monarchs, because it picks up literally right after this ending. So please, if you're interested in reading either of these books, I highly recommend it. They're phenomenal. They're really good. And if you're interested in seeing more of my in-depth thoughts, you can either check my Goodreads where I have a review for it, or you can watch the video that I have here on my channel. My Goodreads linked in the description. Bleh. I cannot speak. The last book that I've read so far this year, I say that as if I have read so little and the year's almost over. That's not true. It's like literally April. The last book that I have read so far this year is one that is so popular. I don't even think I need to explain how it's so popular and why it's so popular, but I recently finished reading this and I have a lot of thoughts, so I'm going to be making a book talk video about it quite soon, so stay tuned for that. And that is The Invisible Life of Addy Larue by V.E. Schwab. As you can see, I tabbed a lot of pages in it because there was a lot of things I really wanted to remember about this book, and there were so many things that I loved. This book follows a woman named Addy Larue who makes a deal with a devil that she prayed to late at night that in order to escape the life that has been bestowed upon her, she would sacrifice anything, and she wishes for more time. Well, the devil gives her time, although she is immortal and she will never be remembered by anybody she meets. Once she meets somebody and she walks away and they're out of her eyesight, they will no longer remember who she is. But one day, 300 years later, in a New York City bookstore, she meets somebody who does remember her name, and it kind of takes off from there, and it is really magical, really whimsical. I thought the writing was beautiful. I don't want to go into too many of my thoughts because I'm going to make a video about it, but I really enjoyed this book, but there were some problems that I had with it that made me not enjoy it as much as everybody else has. Like, I was really expecting to cry and like lose my mind over this book, and I did not. I was shocked, trust me, I was shocked. There was some plot twists in here that I was not expecting for sure, and it's really hard to surprise me with books because I have a wild imagination and I could pretty much predict anything, but this was a trip, that I will say. There were some things in this book that I was not predicting was going to happen, so it got me there. V.E. Schwab got me there, but I did not enjoy this book as much as everybody else. I will go into more detail about it, but it has more to do with Addy's character and her journey as she's living, you know, her life. But overall, I thought this was pretty good. I would probably give it a reread, but it would have to be a very long time from now because this book is incredibly slow. Incredibly slow. I cannot stress that enough. I'll go into more thoughts about that in a future video. If you like any other V.E. Schwab books, you should definitely pick this up. I'm interested in picking up some more of her books now that I've read this, because I had never read a V.E. Schwab book prior to this one. And I think this being my first one was a good introduction into her writing. But I'm excited to see what else she has to offer in her prior books. So these are all the books I had to talk about today. Again, there's only 6 of them because I haven't been reading as much as I wanted to. But thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed any of the books that I talked about, I will have them all linked down below so you guys can find out where to get them. Also, thank you so much for watching. It means a lot that you guys are watching these videos and you're enjoying them. So if you really want to interact with this video, please like it, leave a comment. I read like every comment, so please leave a comment and tell me what other videos you'd like to see from me so I know what to give you guys. Thank you so much again for watching. You guys mean the world to me. Have a wonderful day or night wherever you are, and I will hopefully see you next week. Mwah. Bye.